it's a sunny day here in Harare, Zimbabwe, and it's Thursday, and you know what that means. Welcome back to What's Happening Africa with me, Tanya. Hi, it's episode 18 and welcome back to What's Happening Africa with me, Tanya, where I bring you all the information you need to know about what's happening in Africa every single week, or at least every week that I'm available, which has been most weeks. So we're going to come at you with all the news that you need to know from this week. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow before I get into it. And remember, we have other social media platforms for you to follow for more frequent, recent posts and news on what's happening live. I need to interact more on that, so you guys need to hold me accountable. So let's get into it, starting with some news connecting from last week. If you watched last week's episode, you recall that the AFCON Cup was going to be held in Morocco, or is going to be held in Morocco next year, for them preparing for the World Cup that they had bid to host. And now good news comes from FIFA, where they have announced that in 2030, Morocco will be one of the few countries that will host the World Cup. FIFA has revealed an innovative plan for the 2030 FIFA World Cup, commemorating the event's centenary by spanning 3 continents: Europe, Africa, and South America. In a historic first, the European, African, and South American confederations have jointly proposed a single bid led by Morocco, Spain, and Portugal, while also including matches in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. This ambitious endeavor aims to unite 6 countries, marking a century since the inaugural tournament in Montevideo. Morocco's hosting of the 2030 World Cup follows its recent acquisition of the 2025 AFCON. The news has been met with joyous celebration in Rabat as Moroccans anticipate the monumental event in cooperation with Portugal and Spain. We are so excited, and though it sounds like centuries away, 2030 is around the corner, and we'll be so excited to celebrate with Morocco and the other countries who will be sharing this momentous event. Next on what we have 2 news stories from Uganda, which I'm going to combine. The first being the return of a king, and the next being the return of a politician, which led to an arrest. Uganda's Rwenzururu king, Charles Wesley Mumbere, has received a triumphant homecoming after 7 years following a deadly police raid on his palace in 2016. Accused of commanding a militia to create an independent state, he faced serious charges including treason and murder, but prosecutors dropped the case upon amnesty application. The Rwenzururu kingdom, represented the Bokonzo people, has a history of separatist tendencies and strained relations with the Ugandan government. But fortunately, the king was received with much joy and celebration as he returned to the land of his people. In the same very airport, another prominent political figure arrived, but with a slightly different response. Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine was arrested upon his return from South Africa, where he was mobilizing the diaspora. Wine, a vocal critic of President Museveni, has faced several frequent arrests and human rights concerns, including his unsuccessful presidential bid in 2021, sparking protests amongst his supporters. Very concerning yet very intriguing how politics can sway people and can have 2 different perspectives in one single country. But moving on to a more positive story, and a lot more interesting because I'm interested in writing and literature. So this is about writing and literature, the Caine Prize winners of 2023, which turned out to be an African couple. This African couple hails from the nation of Senegal. Senegalese authors Mame Bogouma Diane and Wopa Diallo have made history by becoming the first ever pair to jointly win the prestigious Caine Prize for African writing. Their award-winning story, A Soul of Small Places, draws inspiration from Diallo's personal experience of gender-based violence in Senegal, exploring themes of violence, love, revenge, and loss. The tale has garnered praise for its profound storytelling and its ability to address global issues while celebrating love. Diene and Diallo, who met during an advocacy event against gender-based violence, described the writing process as an intense and collaborative effort. They expressed their joy not only for the award, but also for winning as a family alongside their daughter. The Caine Prize carries a cash prize of 12,000 US dollars or 10,000 pounds and includes publication in 2023 Caine Prize anthology. This year's competition received a record-breaking 297 entries from 28 different countries, highlighting the growing recognition of African literature. We celebrate the Senegalese couple and their future writing endeavors, wishing them the best in whatever comes next. And in the mood of celebration, we are celebrating Lesotho for turning 57. Lesotho celebrated its 57th year of independence from British rule and marked the commencement of a year-long celebration of its bicentennial, tracing back to King Moshoeshoe I, founding of the Basotho nation. King Letsie III inaugurated the bicentennial festivities at Thaba Bosu Cultural Village, receiving well wishes from nations like the United States and the United Kingdom. We are celebrating New Lesotho as Africa, and I know I've been saying the name of the country two different ways. Please don't hesitate to correct me in the comment section, but we are in the mood of celebration and we're celebrating that country's independence together. But moving a little bit north, just slightly up north to Zimbabwe where I am, we have a very important notice for people to wash their hands and take care of themselves because unfortunately there's another cholera outbreak. Zimbabwe grapples with a resurgent cholera outbreak, recording 4,500 cases and nearly 100 deaths since February. In response, the government has imposed restrictions on public gatherings and banned communal cooking at funerals in affected areas, activating nationwide diarrhea surveillance. Poor water supply in major cities exacerbated by contamination of Lake Chivero and the Manyame Dam contributes to the crisis. Harare, a city of almost 2 million, faces water shortages and deteriorating infrastructure. Buhera District, a cholera hotspot, and Zaka District have also reported cases. Zimbabwe struggles to provide clean water and sanitation, particularly in densely populated urban and rural areas, highlighting the urgent need for intervention. As someone who is currently in Zimbabwe, I can testify that the water is not as available as it should be in an urban area. But taking that into consideration, we have to do what we can on the ground. So make sure that all the water you are drinking is boiled, all the water you're using to cook is also boiled, and that you're washing your hands before eating, after using the toilet. You know all the rules. This is just an important service announcement for all the Zimbabweans who watch this channel and also any other nationals, because this is an issue that is spread across Africa. If you recall, in one of our first reports, we were talking about the same crisis in South Africa, which, if I'm not wrong, is still prevalent in those overpopulated areas. With that, I'm going to end the episode. It is not on a devastating note. It is on a note of taking care of ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves and our hygiene so that I can have people to tell this news about. Thank you again for watching What's Happening Africa with me, Tanya. Please don't forget to share this with your friends and family members. It is important this time. I really do urge you to share it with anyone you can. And also celebrate with those who are celebrating, but note and warn those who need notices and warnings. Have a lovely day, a lovely weekend, and I'll can't wait to see you next week. Goodbye.